In this video, I'm going to show you guys exactly how to get all of the starter Pokemon in Pokemon Legends Arceus. Let's dive in. Yo, whoa, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka A-Drive. I'm bringing you guys a brand new video today, and today we are diving into the world of Pokemon Legends Arceus, where I'm going to show you guys very quickly and simply how to get every single starter Pokemon in the game. We're going to be covering Pikachu, Eevee, Chimchar, Piplup, Turtwig, Oshawott, Rowlet, and Cyndaquil. So this is how you're going to be able to obtain all of those starter Pokemon, which you will need to complete your decks and ultimately beat the game. Be sure to hit that like button down below if this video helps you, and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new so you don't miss out on our epic Pokemon Legends Arceus gameplay and much, much more. And if you haven't done so yet, you guys can head over to TeamShiny.com and deck out your closets with our awesome Team Shiny t-shirts. You can check them out on the screen. They look amazing, and you can use code Arceus to get 15% off your purchase if you pick up 3 t-shirts or more. So be sure to head over to TeamShiny.com and deck out your closet. Without further ado, let's dive in to where you can find these starter Pokemon. Okay, so one of the first Pokemon we're gonna be looking at is Eevee, and Eevee can be found right about here in the Horseshoe Plains. One of the recommendations I have though is if it doesn't show up for some reason, you can always go back to your Fieldlands camp and rest. I chose to come to the evening time, and as it is evening right now, I am able to see Eevee, and I actually kind of need one, so I'm gonna throw an Ultra Ball at it myself. But you should be able to find these Pokemon chilling here. And if Eevee's not here, like I said, just go back to your base camp, rest up, and hopefully he'll spawn. Sometimes you may need to return back to Jubilife, but that was a pretty easy capture. And you can get Eevee very early on in the game, obviously, as this is one of the first Pokemon that you can find. There's the little guy. Okay, so this is actually where you find Chimchar. And I'm gonna show you guys on the map. It's at the deer track path, and one of the things you may need to do is if you come here, you don't have to fly here, by the way, you can walk here, which is right near where you would do the Heights camp. If you come here and he doesn't show up at evening time, by the way, we're at evening time, if he doesn't show up, then go all the way back to Jubilife and then come back and try again. Because the spawns get determined, it seems, when you arrive. So if you want to get yourself a little Chimchar, there's your dude. I actually have him on Inferno instead, but Chimchar does spawn here as well. So it could be either one. I actually am surprised that it's Monferno, but Chimchar does spawn here as well. And I'll show you guys, there is one more location that you can get Chimchar and Infernape, so I'll show you guys where that is as well. And of course, there is Infernape, and this is located in Ramenas Island, which you won't be able to access until much later. Looks like there's a part of the map I've never been to. You won't be able to access this until later, until you have Basculegion. So just an FYI, if you want to come here, you can get an Infernape, an Alpha Infernape, and ultimately throw down. And I think depending on time of day, you'll also see Chimchar spawn. There's one right there. So you'll be able to find them here. I'm pretty sure this Infernape is here at all times of day. So should be an easy find. All right, if you're looking for Pikachu, he likes to hang out right about here. This is right outside of Nature's Pantry. You start at the Heights camp, you head over here to this location right in here, and this is where you're gonna find Pikachu. Now, it seems as though for me, it wants to just give me Pichu. I'm in the morning time. I think if I were to go back and pick a different time of day, I'd probably get Pikachu. And of course, if it wasn't obvious, you just go lay in a bed, you choose the time you wanna go to, and you can experiment that way to get these various Pokemon to spawn if for some reason you're struggling to get them to pop up. And it took me a few tries of heading to Jubilife and back and forth, but I found an Alpha Pikachu, which is kind of funny, as you can see right there. So 100%, you obviously can find Pikachu right here, and he's getting really feisty, but that's where he's at, so he's right over here. I guess I'll fight him. And there he is, little Turtwig. So he's a little tricky to find out, but he is located all the way down here outside of Ursa's Ring in the Crimson Mireland. So this is where you will find Turtwig. And I don't know if it's the same for everybody, but I was also able to, hold on, I gotta get out of my sneasel. I was also able to come over here to where the Turtwig was, and I found the item I needed to evolve, oh, don't you dare spore me. The item I needed to evolve Ursa Ring, so if you wanna come here, you could try sniffing in the ground and maybe you'll have luck there, but as you can see, a very easy Turtwig. I will also mention that you can find Torterra in the wild as an alpha Pokemon. I'm in the evening time, by the way, if that helps. So it's this little pond back here, and I've always found Turtwig here. But again, if for some reason it doesn't show up, just go back to Jubilife and then come back here, set the time of day to evening, and you shouldn't have any problems. Now, regarding Piplup, you can see there is an Empoleon down here, an alpha Empoleon, which will often spawn right here in the Sleepy Shore, which is where you'll often find this Alpha Empoleon. But if you want to find Piplup, little baby Piplup, I often find him right over here. Let me see, let me hop on my Braviary. And oftentimes he'll hang out right here by this pond. And is there any Piplups here today? There is a little Piplup right there, as you can see, just hanging out down below. I guess I'll get into a battle with him. I'll send out my Prinplup to fight the Piplup. Look at that. And you can see exactly little Piplup hanging out here, and that's another one of the starters down. So again, found right here in this little spring area, and I should mention that it's midday or afternoon time. So again, you can always play with the time of day if for some reason they don't pop up here. Now regarding the other 3 starter Pokemon, Rowlet, Oshawott, and Cyndaquil, there is a way to obtain them throughout the game if they are not the starter that you chose, and that is through the Time Rift Distortion Arena fields that take place randomly throughout the map. Now, as you play through the game, after you beat the first Noble Cleaver, you'll start to see these distortions that take place in the map. I highly recommend you obviously chase them down, as that's where you can find some really good items and rare Pokemon and much, much more. But this is also where you can happen to find those starter Pokemon and their evolved forms. So you can actually find Rowlet and Dartrix and Decidueye, and you can find Oshawott and you know, obviously its evolved form, Samurott, etc. So you can find all those starter Pokemon, but they are specific to the location that you're at. So if you want Rowlet, you're gonna need to find a distortion at the Coronet Highlands. If you want Cyndaquil, you'll have to find it at the Crimson Mirelands. And if you want Oshawott, it's at the Alabaster Icelands. But again, they spawn at a very, very low rate. So if you see one, make sure you snag it because they're gonna be really hard to find. Rumor has it you can actually get them at the end of the game as well once you beat the main storyline, but I haven't done it yet myself. But that is how you are gonna get those Pokemon through those distortions on those different locations, so you can get all the starter Pokemon in Pokemon Legends Arceus. I've got good news. I was able to do some testing, and you can indeed get the other 2 starter Pokemon that you previously didn't get, that you didn't choose, from the professor after you beat the main part of the game. So you can actually get all the starters without getting lucky through the outbreaks. It would just be in the post game, but it does allow you to complete your Pokedex. One thing I will recommend though is make sure you get your research level to 10 on them before you evolve them, because it's gonna be so hard for you to find another Rowlet and another Oshawott or Cyndaquil depending on your starters. So that's that. As I mentioned throughout this video, many of these Pokemon will spawn at different times of day, and sometimes you have to go to the location, see if they're there. If not, you'll have to go back to Jubilife and then essentially return back to that location. It may take a few minutes to find these Pokemon, but for the most part, you can get Chimchar, Pikachu, and Eevee before you even get your first kind of, you know, noble Pokemon beaten, and then you'll be able to get Turtwig in the Crimson Mirelands, and you'll be able to get Piplup in the Cobalt Coastlands, so you can find all those starters there. And then again, you could pretty much get those Dimensional Rifts at any point after you take on the first noble Pokemon, so you'll be able to get the other starters with a little bit of luck. Hopefully you have better luck than I did. Be sure to hit that like button down below if this video was helpful, and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new so you don't miss out on our epic Pokemon Legends Arceus content. And of course, be sure to check out TeamShiny.com and rep some of our awesome Team Shiny t-shirts so you don't miss out and you deck out your closet and you're looking fancy as ever. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.